Imagine this. You've spent 5 years studying English. You've memorized the irregular verbs. You can recite Shakespeare. You feel ready. You walk into a coffee shop in Brooklyn. The barista looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and asks, "What can I get started for you?" And suddenly, your brain freezes. The textbook told you to say, "I would like a cup of coffee, please." But everyone around you is saying things like, "Can I grab a cold brew?" Or "Let me get a matcha, oat milk, extra hot." You realize in that moment that you don't actually speak English. You speak classroom.
It is the ultimate cafe Turing test. That moment of panic is universal. It's the gap between knowing the grammar and knowing the culture. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Leo, and today we are dissecting one of the most high-stakes, low-stakes interactions in modern life, ordering food and coffee.
High-stakes anxiety, low-stakes coffee. I'm Emma. It's good to be here.
We are going to look at a specific set of phrases today, real-world examples of how Americans actually order, and break down why they work. We'll look at the history, the psychology, and the strange linguistic revolution of the word get.
And we are going to debunk the idea that textbook English is the polite way. In fact, if you walk into a busy New York cafe and say, "Good morning, I would like to purchase a coffee," you aren't just slowing down the line. You're actually signaling that you don't belong to the tribe.
Let's dive right into the first specimen. This is the classic interaction. I'll play the barista, you play the customer. Action.
Hey, can I get a latte, please?
Sure, what size?
Medium, and can I get that with oat milk?
Yeah, no problem. Anything else?
Yeah, actually, I'll grab a blueberry muffin, too.
All right, for here to go.
To go, please.
Cool, that'll be $6.80.
Okay, cut. That little dialogue contains about 3 decades of linguistic evolution.
Let's start with a big one. You said, "Can I get a latte?" You didn't say, "May I have?" Growing up, my grandmother would have slapped my hand if I said, "Can I get?" She insisted on "may I have?" She said can refers to ability. Are you physically able to get it? Whereas may refers to permission. When did we lose that distinction?
We didn't lose it. We evolved past it. If you look at the data, specifically Google Ngrams, which track word usage in books over the last century, "may I have" takes a nosedive starting in the mid-1960s, while "can I get" skyrockets. This mirrors a shift in American service culture. May I implies a hierarchy. It implies I am asking your permission as a subordinate to receive sustenance. It is deferential.
Right. Sounds like Oliver Twist. "Please, sir, I want some more."
Precisely. But "can I get" changes the dynamic. It frames the interaction as a transaction between equals. It suggests collaboration. "Can I get" implies, is it possible for us to complete this transaction? It's softer, friendlier, and fundamentally more democratic. If you use "may I have" in a loud, busy Starbucks, you sound stiff. You sound like you're trying to establish a formal distance that doesn't exist in a coffee shop.
So "can I get" is actually a social signal. It says, I know the rules of this game, we are moving fast.
Exactly. And notice the other phrase I used. I'll grab a blueberry muffin.
I love that word grab. If you look it up in a dictionary, it means to seize roughly or snatch. It sounds violent. Why do we use a violent word for buying a pastry?
It's a fascinating semantic shift. In the context of American consumption, grab has come to mean obtain quickly and casually. It minimizes the burden of the request. If I say, "I wish to purchase a muffin," it sounds like a contract negotiation. If I say, "I'll grab a muffin," it implies impulsiveness and ease. Advertisers love this word. You see it everywhere. Grab a Coke, grab a bite. It triggers a psychological feeling of low stakes. It tells the barista, "This won't take long. I'm easy."
It's performative casualness. We are performing the act of being low-maintenance customers.
Yes. And that brings us to the second scenario. Let's look at how we modify these orders, because that's where things get technically interesting. Ready?
Ready. I'm the customer this some.
Hey, can I grab a cold brew?
Sure. Any milk or sweetener?
Just a splash of milk. Gotcha.
Gotcha. Anything else for you?
Nah, that's all.
Just a splash. It's poetry.
It's barely a measurement. What is a splash? 5 milliliters? 2 ounces?
It's a pragmatic marker. Just a splash tells the barista, I don't want a latte. I want the color to change slightly. But notice the word just. In linguistics, we call this a minimizer. You aren't just describing the milk, you are minimizing the trouble you are causing. Just a splash implies, I am not a difficult person. This is a tiny request.
And then I finished with, nah, that's all. To a non-native speaker, nah might sound rude or dismissive.
But in this register, no can sound too abrupt. No is a door slamming shut. Na is a gentle wave of the hand. It signals the end of the transaction without severing the friendly connection. It's what sociolinguists call phatic communication, language used for social bonding rather than just information.
We have to talk about the Starbucks effect. You mentioned earlier how the environment changed the language. Sociologist George Ritzer talks about the McDonaldization of society, but there is also a Starbucksization of language. They created a genre of ordering.
Oh, absolutely. Starbucks didn't just sell coffee. They trained Americans to speak a pidgin Italian, venti, grande, macchiato. But more importantly, they trained us to expect customization. In Italy or France, if you ask to swap the milk or put the sauce on the side, the waiter might look at you like you've insulted the chef's grandmother.
Right. In Rome, you take the coffee as it comes.
But in the US, customization is a form of individualism. Let's listen to this food ordering scenario to see that in action.
All right, I'm the server. Hey guys, how we doing?
Good, thanks. How about you?
Can't complain. Ready to work?
Yeah, I think so. I'll go with the chicken sandwich.
Cool. Fries or salad?
Fries. And could I get the sauce on the side?
Absolutely.
On the side. That phrase is the epitome of American dining culture. It asserts control over the experience.
And the phrase, I'll go with. Not I want, not I choose, I'll go with. It sounds like I'm placing a bet.
It treats the menu like a set of pathways. I'll go with implies a selection from options rather than an internal desire. It's very decisive but casual. It pairs perfectly with another common phrase, the swap.
Right, like, can I swap the fries for a salad?
Swap is a trader's word. It implies an equal exchange. If you say change or replace, it sounds like you are correcting a mistake. Swap sounds like a deal. It keeps the positive momentum of the interaction going.
I want to touch on something you said in the role play. Can't complain. When I asked how you were, you said good, and I said can't complain. That is such a deflective phrase. It's stoic.
It is the American stiff upper lip, which we actually stole from the British working class. It's a way of acknowledging life is hard without burdening the other person. But in a service context, it functions as a lubricant. It acknowledges the human element. I am a person, you are a person, without getting into a deep conversation that slows down the table turnover.
Now, what happens when the rhythm breaks? When you aren't ready? Because that is where the panic sets in for learners. They feel the pressure of the waiter hovering over them.
The key here is confidence stalling. In the script we prepared, the line is, "Can we get a minute?"
Simple. Can we get a minute?
Notice the we. Even if you are dining alone, you often say, "Can I get a minute?" But "can we get a minute?" appeals to the collective timing of the table. It is polite, but firm. A lot of learners start apologizing. "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know, please wait." You don't need to apologize for not being ready. The phrase "take your time" from the server is the standard response. It's a ritualistic forgiveness.
Let's talk about the ending of the transaction, the payment. In the script, I ask, can we split it?
Split it. Short, clear. In the UK, you might hear "go Dutch" or "pay separately," but in the US, "split the check" or just "split it" is the dominant phrase. Again, notice the efficiency. We strip away the verbs. We don't say, "Could you please divide the bill into 2 equal payments?" We say, "Split it."
This efficiency brings up a massive generational controversy we have to address. The "you're welcome" versus "no problem" war.
Oh, this is the battlefield of sociolinguistics, INAPA.
So in our first coffee scenario, when you thanked me, I said, yeah, no problem. I didn't say you're welcome. My dad hates that. He says, why are you saying no problem? Was it potentially a problem to serve me? He finds it rude.
This is a classic misunderstanding of phatic intent. Older generations, generally boomers and Gen X, view "you're welcome" as the standard polite closure. It acknowledges the thanks. But for millennials and Gen Z, "you're welcome" can actually sound arrogant. It implies I have done you a favor and I accept your gratitude. It highlights the effort.
Wow, so "you're welcome" sounds like I'm expecting a medal?
To younger ears, yes. Whereas "no problem" or "no worries" minimizes the effort. It says, we are equals. Helping you is not a burden. It is part of the flow. It's an egalitarian response. When you said, yeah, no problem to the customer, you were actually being more polite in a modern context than if you had said a formal "you are welcome."
It's funny how language flips like that. What was once polite becomes stiff. What was once slang becomes the standard. So if we look at the final mini real-life fast order we have here, it combines all these elements.
Let's hear it. Hey, can I get a large iced latte with almond milk?
For here or to go?
To go, and can you make it less sweet?
Yeah, no problem.
Perfect, thanks.
It's a dance. Can I get the modification less sweet? The no problem. It flows.
And notice the customization, less sweet. You aren't asking, is it possible to reduce the sugar syrup content? You are giving a direct command masked as a request. Can you make it less sweet? It's directness softened by the can you.
I want to bring in one last concept, the coffee name. There was a study from the Australian National University about how people use aliases in cafes.
Yes, this is a brilliant survival strategy. If your name is difficult to spell or pronounce, or if it's loud, you adopt a Starbucks name. It's not dishonesty, it's linguistic efficiency. If your name is Guillermo and you know the barista is going to struggle and write Jerry, you might just say, name's Bob.
I do that. My name is Leo, which is easy, but I've had friends with complex names who just say Tom. It speeds up the transaction.
And that is the core lesson here. The goal of ordering food in English isn't to pass a grammar test. It isn't to have perfect diction. The goal is friction reduction. Phrases like can I get, grab, swap, and no problem are all designed to grease the wheels of social interaction. They make the exchange fast, friendly, and low stress.
So, if you are a learner listening to this and you are terrified of walking into that cafe, just remember, the native speakers aren't thinking about your grammar. They are just trying to get their caffeine and get on with their day. If you use these phrases, you signal that you are on the same team.
Exactly. Don't strive for perfection. Strive for rhythm. Say, can I get instead of I would like. Say, grab instead of purchase. And for the love of coffee, don't be afraid to say, no problem.
Next time you're in a cafe, just try one new phrase. Even one small change makes a big difference in how you feel.
And if this kind of real-life English helps you, you know where to find us.
All right, now I actually want coffee. I'm going to go grab a cold brew.
Same. I'll go with a latte.